Welcome back to Blooming in Brisbane. Today we're in the garden of Antonia McCaskie, whose garden is named Mother Nature's Laughter. Welcome, Antonia, to the program.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Well, tell us a little bit about your beautiful garden and what you have to offer.
Oh, what I have to offer here? Well, the front garden is mainly a cottage garden and the back is a subtropical rainforest garden. I started it sort of from scratch. There were lots of gum trees in the beginning and it was a very difficult block to work with because it's on a slope, and when it used to rain, the water used to run right down here, right like a river, right down to the bottom. Yep. So there was a need to create some swales, and I zigzagged the back garden and the front garden to intercept the rain. And then of course I started planting stuff. And
so it evolved from
yeah.
what was seen as a negative, and you've turned it completely around into a positive. Yes,
it worked out very well, yeah. And I love the flowers in the front garden. Basically is my palette, that's my paint box, because I love playing with the colors there and all the natural things. And I get a tremendous amount of pleasure when things are self-sown and come up. It doesn't matter where they come up, they have a right to be there. And the back garden is, well, planted rainforest trees right in the beginning when I came here, and they sat for a long time doing nothing. And then we got the drought, and then we got rain. So all at once, since we've had that good rain for the last 3 years, it's been a tremendous difference.
The flowers and the colours in your garden, the way that you've used the plants, it really does mirror the name of the garden, doesn't it? So the Mother Nature's Laughter. Yeah. Tell us a little bit how that name came to be.
Well, as a child, I had 3 sisters, and we used to sing a song, and that was in relation to spring. And especially, in the Northern Hemisphere, when spring arrives, everybody's excited and anticipating. And it was about a girl sitting in the forest on a bench, and the birds and the butterflies and the bees flew around, and the birds used to carry her song, and with that song all the trees and flowers would come and open up and start budding. But the essence of it was that this narrator, the song, the person that sang it, she actually says, but I saw the child sitting there and I caught her smile, and that was the smile of spring. So that's why I called Mother Nature's Laughter. The smile, it doesn't interpret the same way in English as it did in Dutch, so there's a bit of a variant there. So that's why I made the mural, or I had Deb Mustard do the mural for me.
Yes.
And about the girl sitting there with the bees and the butterflies, and of course you've got the Australian birds there.
Well, it really comes to fruition because the garden is so colourful and gentle, and yet it sort of sings to you as you walk in as well. Yeah. It's very difficult to miss your garden as you're driving past.
Well, I hope it gives people pleasure.
And you must be very proud to have opened it on many occasions for Open Gardens Australia, and for so many people to come in and enjoy what you've created as well. You like to experiment with plants too, and this is one of the joys of a cottage-style garden, that you can use such beautiful plants in your garden that are suitable for the subtropics, but still create that
same ambience. Absolutely, yeah. I find that with euphorbias, cotonifolia, and also your ecoliva, your native melaleucas, you can prune them and they have that same colouring, the same foliage. Yeah, and also the Vitex, Agnus cassis, it's like a lilac tree when it flowers, which is beautiful, So yes, I think if you hunt around a bit, you can create the same ambience with subtropical plants.
Absolutely. It's
and native plants.
Texture, delicacy, balance, and colour, and movement. Absolutely.
And balance, when you say balance, to me that's very important. I can look at an area and say, no, that's just not right. Something is too big in proportion to the rest of the plants. That's a big issue with me. I find that I prune things back to accommodate certain areas so that there is a bit of tension between one and the other,
Having a garden on the topography that you do, with the front garden being the highest point and the back garden, or the back of the back garden being the lowest point, actually works in your favour, because you can use that to great advantage, can't you?
Yes.
By placing plants that have specific water requirements or sunlight requirements exactly where they needed to grow.
That's right, up the top everything is much better drained. Your Mediterranean plants, and even your amaranths and things like that. They love this hot, dry
Yes,
weather, and they
yes.
colour up beautifully. And lots of veggies do too, actually.
There's a lot of things that people can learn from visiting a garden like this. So many subtle tips and tricks that they can sort of take away with them as well. And think, maybe they probably think, oh, maybe that's the reason why I didn't actually have luck with that plant.
I made lots of mistakes. No,
Oh, that's the whole
I've
point.
lost lots of plants because
Yes.
I planted them in the wrong spot, and then I started to look a little bit more closely, and I realized what I was doing, and yes, so now I sort of got a fair idea what goes where.
But it's interesting to know, and this is for all the viewers out there, it's interesting to know everybody makes mistakes. And by making those mistakes, we only learn and grow
That's right.
as gardeners.
Yeah, and also they say, okay, you should get professional advice, and that stops you making mistakes. I do think there's a certain amount of reward of learning by your own mistakes.
Oh, we need them. We actually need them.
That's right, yeah.
So, Antonia, are there any special plants that really sing to your heart in this garden? Any species or any particular plant that sort of says, you must look at me, or I just love going to you?
Well, I like cosmos, and I like cleomes, and I do like that little cleome, Signorita Rosalita.
Yes.
It grows of cuttings, it grows anywhere. And I like also the justitious. See those yellow ones down there? And here, look at it. See, it's a Belperone, but it's a beautiful one, and in the shade it complements all your other variegated foliage plants, see, which I like.
Spoken like a real cottage gardener, someone who cannot make up their mind on a particular plant. Really, it's one of those things. For me, I think when I always visit your garden, it's always the Brugmansia that sort of yells out to me when I look at the front garden. It's always saying, well, it's a real Kath and Kim, look at me.
Yeah.
I just adore it. And of course, those colours just look gorgeous. How you've manipulated the colours and moved them together as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have a lot of salvias in your garden.
Yes.
And that's something to recall, isn't it? Because salvias are so useful in our gardens in Queensland.
I've bought a new one. That's that Elwyn Paynton, the one,
Yes.
the lady from Mount Tambourine. That's one of hers, called after her. It came up in her garden. It's a bit like Van Houtii, but it's a richer pink in it, and it's lovely. It's a bit like Wendy's Wish, but then again not. And yes, salvias do very, very well. I've got one on the nature strip it's been there for 16 years. The same plant.
And of course, salvias are fantastic for bringing the bees and the pollinating insects into the garden. But you're not afraid to use some of the more stronger, more modern architectural plants either.
No, that's
such
true.
as some of the aloes and those sorts of things, and the Tabernet Mantoa. Beautiful plants.
Yeah, oh yes.
Yeah,
It
very
flowers all year.
underutilised.
Yes,
in
and
our
it flowers
climate.
all year. All it wants is a drink.
Yes.
But the aloes, they're doing very well. I've grouped them together now with other really hardy plants on the nature strip. And I think, give it 12 months, that will fill in and will look really quite spectacular.
You've done something else too, which I think other people can take a little bit of a page out of your book with, and that is to incorporate edible plants in amongst your ornamentals.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
It's a great way of helping with insect control.
Yes, absolutely. I've got parsley, and I've got lots and lots of herbs right through. I've got maizuna, I've got mustard lettuce, I've got basil, so herbs and veggies together. I've got some kale there, and sufficient for me. I don't want to have an abundance of stuff because you need to look after it, and I can only eat so much, and I do share with a lot of people. It seems futile to me to spend a lot of time and energy maintaining something if I'm not going to use it.
Yes.
See, so food-wise, I've got, I love that chicory, for instance. It's beautiful, beautiful, beautiful flowers, so it has lots of complementary aspects.
And even if you didn't use it all and you let it go to flower,
seed, that's what I mean.
It just blends in
beautiful,
beautifully with the rest of the garden because it brings the bees. It looks delightful and soft and very much like what a true cottage garden stands
And when
for.
maizuna flowers, it has these lovely yellow flowers. It's just gorgeous. Yes,
That's true.
it's a joy just letting it go through the stages and let it self-seed. It's fine. Yeah.
I think we can all take a page out of Antonia's book and truly create a garden of this level. We'll get close to it, but we need to understand what plants work for us best.
But you have to be passionate about it.
Absolutely.
I don't think you can be a gardener and not somehow put your heart in it, for me.
There needs to be a certain passion. That's
Yeah.
something that we all can learn from, and,
Yeah.
and we grow that passion.
Yeah.
Literally, we have to grow that
And
passion.
I grow with it. I might be growing old, but I grow with it, and that's, to me, an important issue too. You know?
So I hope a lot of people get a chance to visit your garden in late May, early June, because I'll be here having a chat to people that are coming through about cottage gardening.
Yeah.
And we'll
Noel
be able
Burdette
to...
and Bob the Bee Man will be
Bob
there.
the Bee Man will be there as well, so
Both
fantastic. We'll be able to see all about the native bees.
He's
as well.
going to actually get one of the hives and show them how to extract honey from it. And then one of the other hives on the next day, he's going to break up and see how you can split your native beehives. So,
Thank you, Antonia, for having a chat. We'll have a look around your garden. I'm sure a lot of people out there will be very intrigued to see the beautiful plants that you have shown
Thank you.
and showcased in your garden.
thank you, Noel.
Thank you for watching, and join us next week on Blooming in Brisbane for more Noel Burdette, Claire Biffle and myself, Nicole Ackworth. In the meantime, keep up to date with our Facebook page, Blooming in Brisbane.